the archetype decks that I love the most, but that's not it. Let's look again. There we go. There we go, there we go, there we go. The gem and the chronon, I'm getting the chiseler. Now this is interesting. Chiseler. What are you doing? A chiseler, I think of a forger. I think of somebody that forges things, like art forger, the chiseler. But it's also equally well somebody that creates statues. What are we getting? Oh, chiseler, the crown. Mario, this is a little bit difficult. It's showing me difficulty as far as upbringing, and I'm getting something about the crone, the mom, the chiseler. She's the mom, the con is what I'm getting. She has a benefactor. This isn't the best role model as an example. She's a gem in her own way. She does a lot of sweet things in her own way. But because of her choices, you had a hard life as a child back then. She wasn't living in her highest moral virtues, is what I could say. She's more irreverent than reverent, but because of the way she does the best she can, you know she's doing the best she can. She is functioning at it, comes through really, really strongly, and the con. She's not like what we would call a complete junkie or crackhead or anything like that of the time, but she definitely has a lot that is put upon her that's very, very difficult. There is somebody, and this benefactor feels more like your father than anything else. It does not feel like her husband. It feels like your father. It feels like this person had high station, but you were not born under legitimacy, is what I'm getting here. But he does defend what needs to go forward for you. He looks out for you. He sees you as the gem. He sees you as the prize. I think he has many daughters, but no sons. And I think you came through as son in this. Now, this is interesting because he can't really acknowledge you in the circumstances that surround you. Really, really wild. He can't really acknowledge you in a way that is proper for that era of time. We got to go here first. We got to go to his history first. Your father was very much older than your mother. Something happened in the stage of some sort of battle or war or conquest type energy. So he's older, married to this older woman, sees your mother, takes your mother. This is how you come about. This is how you come about. But when there was conquering and conquerors, when this would happen, there was frequently taking over, raping, pillaging, plundering, all of this stuff going on, right? This is historic how it goes. But then the mix of those two cultures grows together. This creates a more enmeshed culture. It creates crossover of the culture. Now this is father-son energy and leading you and trying to teach you and tell you some of the things that are some of his way. We're really, really curious on your father. He has power. He has stature. He has this energy where he's definitely going to fight and battle and have life on his own terms. However, were he to acknowledge your mother, who was much younger, it would destroy something in his own situation, so he won't do it. And probably he might even have a gentle heart, even though he's like a rager in some regards, a fighter in some regards. This goes back. This goes back. So, okay, now what do we know about the child coming forward? A little bit more about the child. You have reverence for the mother. You understand your father. You see your mother more than your father, but you see her struggle. She feels forgotten. She feels abandoned. She doesn't like being put to the side. Her value is in question and challenged frequently because she is not made whole or made honorable, even though she is an honorable person in many ways in what she does by doing her best. She's not made honorable through the eyes of others, which then they think she's the chiseler. They think she's like, what would be the word? Gold digger is the word. She's got her own struggles to deal with, and part of them are created because of this one. but they see her more as gold digger and trouble and problem and blah, blah, blah. Most people see her this way. You don't see her this way. You understand the nature of things. You understand the man's world that you live in here. This feels old. This feels 1500s maybe. This feels that old. That old. Really, really. It was more of a brutal time. We want to put all this niceness around what today values, what today has, and it's just not there in that way. There's somebody that looks out for you when your father's away. This is somebody that has wisdom, somebody that has power. It says magician here, but it's coming in as elder, coming in as wise elder, somebody that's got power, also Hierophant energy coming. Village elder, this is somebody that's wise, somebody that he would trust to help make sure that you were doing okay. Strength. Now, tarot doesn't always read tarot in this. Whatever is taken from here, from your mom, from this situation, actually emboldens and empowers you. It's like you see her operating in this lower energy in her weaker self, and you're willing to look at what that is and compare for what you want and operate differently. Leave what is the challenge, what is the battle of that behind. Move forward towards something different. And you don't care about the legitimacy or blah, blah, blah. You don't have a huge amount of judgment for anything on the proper terms. You're like, fuck the conformity is what I'm getting. Fuck this, fuck the societal rules, fuck that. You don't care about that at all. But you honor her, you think she's great, you think your mom is doing her best, and that's all she could do. What are you walking toward? What are you going toward? Here's teen, here's more mature you. This is both you. This is you in your teen years, even though I don't care if it's coming in as a girl. You were a dude in this past life. That's not always the case. But this is you in your youth. This is you understanding and having connection with nature, with animals, with all of this. Understanding how you to do something in a more gentle way. How people can be misread, misjudged. You understand that quite easily. This feels more like you about mid-30s. This would be about the age that your father entered the scene. So yeah, much time has gone by. What else are we seeing here? What happens for you? You find yourself in nature a lot, on your own a lot, dealing with forces that are bigger than what you know how to handle and what you know how to master. You realize that fate has given you kind of a shitty hand. You realize that you've got a little bit of this outcast, outsider energy that wasn't your own making, wasn't your own doing, it wasn't your fault. It feels a little bit like penalty points, and it's not so much, but it just feels like you understand this about how you came to be. Why is this magician still here? I think the magician stays on in your world longer than your father does. I think he is so much older that he actually dies, but this one continues. So this one is who you view as more father. You have good heart towards your father. As the magician, Hierophant father guide, this wise old man here, wise man. This one's too old. You don't have as much warmth for him. And you have warmth for your mother, though everybody else doesn't. So you guys are viewed poorly. You're looked upon poorly. I'm sorry. A second chance is given. What is this about? A second chance is given. This one is making arrangements with somebody else who knows some things, This is like these guys would be the same age schoolmates, same age as far as like village elder, clan elder, wise old elder, both of them. This feels like brother or cousin to this one. And this one is saying, okay, let's get this kid educated. This is where you go after you're a teenager, you go to this one. This one's family member. You go get your education, you get knowledge, you acquire knowledge. This is where you get a different start It's finally where the stars start aligning for you, outcast or not. The stars start aligning for you in order for you to be able to change your fate a little bit. To change your station. I mean, being born bastard child, illegitimate child is not the funnest station for anyone to have arrived on scene with, but many, many hundreds of thousands of millions have been. Karma wants justice for you here. Again, the two magicians show up. This is the two magicians. More than it is justice, it's the two magicians. Hang on. What are they telling you? I'm getting map maker, traveler, cartographer, chart maker, balancer of globes, understanding of world, understanding of perspective, understanding lay of land, chart maker. You understand. It's like you would have an understanding of longitude and latitude. You would have an understanding of where your place was in the world. You would understand the world as a bigger place than your particular scenario that you've been born to. Chart maker, coming through chart maker, trusting that there is something bigger, there is something more. Understanding the law of what you reap and what you sow, and the sickle and scythe, understanding these lessons, understanding slicing through something, understanding slicing through different harvests and seeing different lands, understanding different crops, different yields coming forward, going forward as a Batman. This is between these two time periods, wherever that other one was, teenage you and grown ass you. Between these two, you're learning so much. This is where you're going. This is where that other magician lets you go. He understands stars. He understands charts. He understands map maker. He understands this. This is science is coming on in your brain in a big way. Logic. He sees this all the time. He's very, very logical. He sees you have a good mind, a sharp mind, very much a shrewdness, an ability to build and see things logically. Not always. Sometimes you're a hothead. There's a partnering going on, a business partnering. He sets up an endeavor. Now, this Two of Cups doesn't come through in the way of romance. It comes through in the way of, well, let's get this endeavor handled. The partners of the magician, and then you partnering with this one to help his science go forward, to help study. He's grown too old to continue charting paths. He'll show you all of the charts in his cupboards. He's like so excited. He's like, this land here, this is this island here. He's very, very excited about it. He's excited to show you what's in his shells, what's in his knowledge. He wants to pass it on and pass it forward. But that means you're going to have to do some traveling to understand, to see the lay of the land, to chart and to check. To chart and to check is uncomfortable for you. You'd rather not do it, but you will do it. You're going to have to go through this energy where there's a lot of material realm. You're going to have to go through this place of discomfort, of finery. You don't like finery. You don't like having to be conforming. You don't like having to clean up and put on the gentleman's appearance, so to speak. You don't like having to do it like somebody else would tell you, but it makes sense. Math is math, science is science, and this is how it goes. The victory is you can see it clearly. You've been led into the lab, and you understand how to see through here. You understand how to see through different looking glass, how to operate for time, so you will take the chance. You'll wear the idiotic clothes that you must wear, even though you hate them. It'd be like wearing a uniform or something. It's almost like if somebody were to tell you had to show up to modern day work in tux and tails every day, you'd say, fuck that. It's that kind of discomfort with that kind of look. You will wear it for a while because it will give you propriety, acceptability. It will open doors for you. And this is something you've been told and something you actually recognize and know. It will open doors for you. So you will go through in the form of propriety, even though you have been outcast, and you'd like to say fuck off to many. You will go through. What do you go through? What the hell is she doing here? This is an independent woman that sparks your eye, sparks your interest. This one doesn't become a strong lover to you, but she does inspire you. She does become like a muse, somebody you think about along your travels. Like if you could aspire to create a new backstory for yourself, a new fresh start, where you weren't just the illegitimate bastard child that was born into this horrible situation. No, you would like to be able to have perhaps someone of your own and somebody that sees you more in these gentleman clothes or more as equal. Very interesting. This inspires you to continue going forward. You keep going forward. You travel many, many countries, many lands, many battles. You get scars going on this. Now, this is battles and scars of just traveling life experience and lessons. It doesn't feel like literal sword fight. It feels like With each land you journey, and it's like you are learning how to do love in a different way. This feels like relationships, the 3 relationships in these different lands. You're learning and you're growing, but you're not real brilliant at it yet. I'm sorry to tell you. You're not a natural born Romeo. Given the givens, you did just fine. You're evaluating things as you come back. The woman in the finery has gotten old. You see her again, you evaluate again, and you know your station is all right. You've acquired some wealth through your travels, through your charting, through your cartography, and through the sciences, through understanding. It's like you would almost chart some of the agriculture for people, almost chart, this is where you can do, this is, you would help with this kind of thing, with the land, with seeing the lay of the land, seeing where there's good fields. What do they call that? Maybe like a surveyor or something like that? Helping people know where there was good land, where it was good to build. You would understand like where the water tables were. You would understand where there was going to be good or not good places to grow things, good or not good things for cities to develop. You would see this. Your sciencey self would see this. A return. Finally, a return. A call back. Which one of these called you back? You want to go to your homeland, but you get called back. There's somebody very, very distinct, very, very much, very green eyes, more gold hair, like gold in the wheat fields, gold, almost strawberry gold hair, more gold. She calls you back. You go to her country again. There she is. She shows right up. It's like you can't forget her. You've had dealings with her. You've had relationship with her. Somehow things fizzled out and it's like you blew it a little bit or she blew it a little bit. Either way. Very, very different kind of energy in this person. Very different than from what you know. You have to have a crossroads moment and choose. Do you continue science? Or do you go back and get the girl? What do you do? You hold your ground for a couple of years and do nothing. You dork. You hold your ground for a couple of years and do nothing. You're at this crossroads, but you're refusing to make a choice. The younger you, the more immature, wounded boy you, doesn't want to make a choice, doesn't want to fuck it up, so you don't do anything. And this is something you don't do for a couple of years. Holy shit, what's going on? Hang on. What do you do? Because this doing nothing doesn't serve. You observe, you watch, you listen, you do nothing, you don't do nothing. What is this? You acquire. You acquire wealth. You decide that you will have one more time where you will go back to this strange country. And if she is still there, if she is who she thinks that, who you think she is to be, she will be there for you. There will come this thing. You have this hint at things yet to come. This suspicion that you suspect that she's going to be there waiting for you. Will she actually be there? This is your hopes and dreams. Absolutely. Yes, she is. You go and you open the door. You force the gate. You get her. For you, she's the Helen of Troy. For you, she's the be-all, end-all of the universe. You do whatever it takes. But it took you two long years to acquire, to return, and to be brave enough to risk it, to go. You send word, you let her know, and you let her know that you're coming for her, and you do. Anything else, you make yourself known, you make yourself seen. You don't make yourself smaller or invisible anymore. You pay the price that needs paid to have her. And this is like in dowries, in terms of all of the sacrifices that you've had to make. You find it worth it to do, and this is what you pursue. This doesn't come until you're probably damn near 30 yourself. Victory on this. You will ride through town and play the fool and look like an idiot if that's what it takes to impress the hell out of her. To bring it back, the 6 of Wands. The 4 in the background and the elders that are her family elders. You will do what it takes to impress the hell out of them, and you know how to do it because of the second magician. Anything else? Yeah, this is what you build, what you build, what you build. There's this some kind of carriage, some kind of strangeness. There is a little bit of anxiety and stress when push comes to shove in the daily grind. You're not always on the same page because you haven't seen it modeled very well for you in childhood, but there is change in you, there is growth in you, and you realize that this is what's going to happen. Cycles of change, cycles of change. That's the damn truth. The truth is what you wanted, you've gone after it, you've gone and gotten it, you've won her over, and she is your prize. This is like the universe balancing the scales for you in the terms of her. That's complete. I don't know what that's about. But yeah, that was a rough one. You got dealt a shit hand to start out with, for sure. That's where it went. Yeah. Complete.
Wow, Ange.
Yeah. Yeah, you just never know. These past lives, I never know where they're going or what. I just go and go and go, and then they're done. Okay.